sounds pretty loud.
Well, you wanted music. I brought you music. You wanted
Well,
so.
welcome back everyone to
Welcome
Tactical
back, everyone.
Chilli.
We are back.
Happy 2025.
Yes, yes. Happy 2025. It's good to be back. We took us a little bit, I guess, to start the year, start the videos. But yeah, we are here, um, and it's good to be back. How have been you, Charlie? All good?
Yeah. So, I mean, part of us starting a bit late this year was I was away personally overseas for a bit of a sabbatical, so I didn't get back until February. And then we sort of got busy organizing the first singles event we ran at the end of February, and then we started preparing for Warp Wars, didn't we? So,
Yeah,
been a
correct.
very busy start to the year.
Was very busy. We I guess back trying to organize our calendar, bringing all that we can for the 2025. We finally got a new venue, which is bloody amazing. Um, I think that was one of the biggest jobs that we had to do at the beginning of the year.
Yes.
I scouted places. I went to a lot of yeah. I did a lot to find finally a venue, and we have that. And we are going to use it for our first solo team event.
That's right. So we're going to be testing out the new venue, see how everyone likes it. It does have a bar on site, so that'll be great news for a lot of our players who love to, play around one, then start drinking for the rest of the weekend,
Yep.
myself included. Yeah, so plenty of parking, close to lots of food places, nice takeaway. So hopefully we will. And that's happening in May, isn't it, Pato? End of May is our
Yes,
first event.
25, 24, and 25 of May.
Yeah,
There are already a bunch of tickets gone. So yeah, we are quite happy with that. The venue has air condition, has it's a massive area. Already a bunch of tickets. Give me 1 second. I think I'm hearing myself back. Um, yeah,
and we haven't had that
there,
issue since like the third episode. What's going on?
no, no, no. It is because I started the YouTube on the side, so I can
Oh, right.
follow
That's right.
the people that is comment.
Yes,
So yeah, because
it's
we
so
are live. This is the
yes.
first episode, and it's a live episode, broadcasting through YouTube and Facebook because we can. Um, so yeah, let's see.
Awesome. Hi,
So
mom.
yeah, we are quite happy with that. The venue has air condition. Yeah. Um. So yeah, I cannot mute
Maybe,
myself.
maybe mute yourself. Yes.
Yeah, no, I know.
All right.
But yes, that's what we are doing. But we are back with something very interesting. Very, I guess, is for us is a big new. We attend to the first team event that Kraken organized at the beginning a couple of weeks ago. World Wars, as they do every year, and we put two teams up this year. Um, how's that, Charlie?
Yep. Seems okay. I think it was just when you were doing the YouTube feeds.
Oh yeah, now should be fine.
Now it's a bit better.
Um, go. So World Wars, we took two teams, um, the A team and the B team, or the cow and the calf, which was very interesting. And today we have some some people from the team. We have the winners of World Wars, the some of the players for the Team Cartel.
Nope, bit of echo there.
You have echo?
I heard it. No, you're okay again. Don't know what's going on.
It's not me.
All right, keep going.
It is you. It's always you, Charlie.
Okay,
I
where
hear
were we?
myself. Yeah. The team. We have people invited.
Yes. Yep. So who was in our two teams, Pato?
Um, in our two teams, we had the Chili Cow Cartel was um our captain, um,
Led
Chris
us
Voss,
to led us to great results.
lead us to the victory. Yes, good old Chris
Spoilers.
Voss. Spoilers. Yep. Johnny Larsson, bass player in Europe. Josh, Dylan, and yourself, Charlie.
Yes. And then
And
in
in
your
the
team,
calf, yeah, the calf we had Ash, David, David G. That is not David Gaylord. Is David Guirado, our good Spanish friend. Um, Kieran, Jacob, and myself. So let's bring the
yep.
lads
Let's bring the
on
team
because
in,
we have them waiting. Give me 1 second.
and everyone else needs to see Chris's face as well,
Hey.
obviously.
Yeah, I'm apparently the only one that can afford a webcam. How's it going, everyone?
Hi,
Good. How are
Chris.
you?
Yes,
How's
the
it going,
only one.
team?
Hey fellas, how you all doing?
Chauncey, what's
Ah,
your
there's.
picture?
Hey, hey.
I,
Um,
I
I was gonna put
give
up
me
a
one.
picture of your mum, but then I realised I only photos. So
Oh,
I, I can get you a picture of John T. Just yeah, no, we're going to behave.
that'll be a first.
so
It's the first time for everything, John T.
yeah. So unfortunately, Josh couldn't make it tonight. We did try to set this recording will go live up last Friday, and then some Muppet forgot that they had a family dinner they needed to go to. So hence
Yeah,
we're
that
doing it
guy.
right now. Yeah.
That guy. Who was that guy?
How was your dinner, Patricia? Was it good?
That was actually good. It was actually good. Yeah, sorry about that. I was a birthday party that I forgot about it. Um, so yeah, my wife was like, "Hey, you ready for going to this stuff?" I was like, "Sorry, what?" Like, "Yeah, the birthday of Joaquin." I was like, "Oh, shit." Yes, of course. I'm being ready all afternoon.
Oh, I love anything. I would never choose Warhammer over you, parties, and whoever's birthday is later.
Is
She
Never.
this
knows that
was
I'm.
this the birthday of one of your children, Peter?
Nah, nah, no. I forgot those two, but no, it was not the case this time.
Yeah, those he would actually prioritize Warhammer over.
Yeah, I was kind of
Yes,
like, is this one of your kids? And you just like, oh yeah, that's right, my son's birthday, of course.
I have
Wouldn't
done that
surprise me.
before.
Yeah.
Don't worry, he's only 10. It's not like he'll remember.
Look,
Yeah,
I'm going to
he
be
hasn't been any, he hasn't been any yet so far. So
Yeah.
why break the pattern, right?
look, I'm going to be very open with you. Like I I used to have
Turn that shit off.
but so, no, sorry, it does not used to have, but my birthday, my wife's birthday and our wedding anniversary is the same day. So I married her on that. So
That's clever.
I
That's a
used to
smart
play.
man right there.
That is a smart move. If you are not married yet, do that. You cannot forget about that. It's very important. One day,
Well, you,
it's
well,
easy.
you can, but should be twice as pissed, right?
Correct. So what happened is I used to play football every weekend, and there was one weekend that the birthday was on the Saturday, and we had a very important game, and we were short on numbers. So I said to my wife, "Look, I'm going to play." So we celebrate uh, tomorrow. Did not went very well. I was sleeping with the dogs for a week, but yeah, but we won the game, so that's the important part.
Good team spirit there, Pato.
The legend.
Yeah, that shit happens. Chris, take notes. That's very take note for you. I've been married for almost 20 years, so I don't know if you can say the same, lads. See?
Yeah,
But
true.
yes, let's go back to business because people want to listen about 40k, not about how Pato gets around to doing the stupid things. That we can do
Yeah,
another podcast for that. That's fine.
that's the 40k 40 plus. How to keep wife
40k,
happy.
40 plus.
Yeah.
Yes, that's pretty much. So this a little bit talking about us, but was really interesting. We took two teams. We were very clear with the objectives that we wanted for these two teams. One was, of course, seeing the best squad that we had available to try to win the event, and then the second squad have enough balance between experienced player and new players, so they can get the experience to captain pairings and doing all of that, which I think we managed to do very well. Chris, you tell us this story because it's a very interesting story. How you ended up being our captain.
Oh,
So yeah, we all got into like a Discord chat together, and we were talking, and then someone asked like, "Oh, who wants to be captain of the A team?" And I was like, "Oh, like I can do it if no one else wants to." And then just it was just dead silence. So I was like, "Okay, cool. Like I guess I'll be captain then."
we
So like it was
unanimously
just,
voted you in. That's what
yep,
happened.
yep. No, it was good.
A lack of opposition is not the same as unanimous.
Yeah, it's very true. And then they also were like, okay, pick who you want to have on your team. So I was like, oh, cool. So it was just, I felt like the person they had to pick, which
Yep.
was awkward, but at the same time, I was like, well, I'm just going to roll with it. Like, I'm just going to pick the
It's
people
like
that I
high
want to
school
pick.
sports all over again. That's how we pick the
Yeah, yeah,
teams.
yeah.
Yeah.
Except this time I got to pick people instead of being the last one to get picked. So, you take your wins.
Yep.
That
That
yeah,
was real
that,
good.
that was fun. But that's one of the things I guess of the team. We all kind of like have that freedom and that opportunity to step up, be the captain. Um, and that was very cool from you. It was like, okay, cool, just taking the lead on this, and was very nice. So you picked the team. You we already talk a little bit about that. It was John T, Dylan, Charlie, and Josh. Um, we the logic behind that was the composition and I guess the armies that they were being able to play at the moment. So make that team strong. What was the logic behind that, Chris?
So there was a couple of things. One, Jonty had been playing Ultramarines a bunch, so no one can tell Jonty to do anything other than what he wants to do. So I was like, cool, you just keep playing Ultramarines, you do what you want to do. Like,
Just to clarify, nobody wants to tell John to do anything other than what he wants to do.
yeah, yeah, exactly. For many a reason, but I was like, cool, like he's been doing well, so he's
Just leave him
putting up
to it.
results.
We just tell him
Yeah,
how many points he needs to bring back,
yeah,
and we just let him go. Yeah.
Pretty much.
exactly.
We
He
treat
also
him
had a
like
very
a princess, and he brings us the results. That's how it works.
Mm.
I'm a queen, motherfucker.
yeah. But yeah, he had a really interesting list that did need some like pairings protection, but it could bring him really strong results if it goes into anything that's not really like high toughness value.
Yeah,
So as
you,
long as we
you,
could,
you had T10 and I stopped playing 40k.
yeah, exactly. So like it's which is like a thing in teams where like pairing around just high toughness is actually fairly easy for the most part. So what I thought would actually have been a bit more of a hindrance really wasn't actually that difficult, was it, Jonty? Like most of the
I
time,
don't
like
think
okay,
so.
cool, you're second defender like half the time, just so to make sure you don't get a bad matchup, and it's like pretty easy. Like it wasn't
Yeah,
that difficult.
I think in the majority of compositions there were two armies I wanted to dodge.
Hmm.
And there was like one. I remember like the worst round was there was IK, and then there was like a lot of big monster nids, I think,
Yeah, yeah.
and that was like the worst round.
Yeah,
But
no, exactly. So like,
no,
as
we
much as
had those.
like you were the pairing princess, it didn't matter that much, and it didn't impact our pairing structure a lot, which was nice.
Yeah, it did impact sort of our team composition and the factions, in
Yeah.
terms of we had to have a couple of lists that just could go on any table, go into any faction,
Yep.
that didn't have to dodge as hard, and specific things like we still needed the durability hunters, right, which is where you kind of came in, Chris, with your
Yep.
broken orc list, well,
Yeah.
ex-broken
Hey,
orc
it
list.
wasn't actually that broken. Not as broken as the new one.
Not as broken as the
There
new
is
one,
a
absolutely
change.
not.
There is a new
Yeah,
a new
yeah,
sheriff in town.
yeah, and I think that was kind of the design mentality for the Cow team, was going in with a team that had the strongest armies, strongest factions that worked well together, had the medalists. Whereas our calf team, the baby cow team, they had the freedom to experiment a lot more, and they could
Mhm.
try different things, of course, within their familiarity, right? So they can see
Yep.
what works and what's not, a bit of a data gathering exercise, as well as getting experience. So I thought that was a really good sort of breakdown of, how we approach the event. I mean, War Pause is a 16 team event, right? You're playing 5 rounds, and you're going to play. We did pods as well, which has been quite popular now. So it doesn't matter where you sit in the pod. At some point, you're going to play one of the top teams at the event, one of the top 4 teams. Um, yeah,
Yep.
so it's a really good way to test out different things and try new things.
And pods are great, man. Like it makes it more exciting before the event because you can kind of plan a bit more because you know your first three matchups, so it makes that more
Yeah,
exciting. You can kind of really try and fine tune that matchup, that matrix, because you know round one you're going to be playing these factions on these boards and this mission, and you can just do that for the first day. So you can kind of go as intense as you want to. So if you really enjoy that kind of side of things, the
yeah,
pods really amplify that experience, which I like. And again, I love that part of teams. I love the kind of like getting into the nitty gritties and stuff. So
yeah.
I,
And
I
I only
think
have
it's great.
to I only have to do data for the first day, which is great.
Yeah,
Cam
yeah,
Cam says
Uh,
rigged event.
yeah,
yeah.
Cam's.
Nah, we just rigged it so we
I'll be
got him on the right round. That's all.
All right. Yeah.
Do we want to
yes.
just quickly go through the armies we each played and kind of why? Yeah.
Yep.
Um,
Cool.
Yes.
Capitan, you want to
sorry,
go
just
first?
quickly, Pato, did you say
Yeah.
you have YouTube up? And if so, is it muted? Because that might be why there's an echo.
Yeah, that's also
I have YouTube up. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I have sorted that. Thank you, Joti.
yes. You're on live,
Cool.
John T.
You know, I can hear an
Yeah.
echo. But that's fine.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Yes.
I guess I'll start.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm sorry, Chris. I always hear echo, and I don't know why. It's been my thing since we start recording, and I blame Charlie every time that this happens. So we'll keep blaming
Bloody
Charlie.
hell, Charlie.
No, you just got hit too many times in the head.
Damn.
Sorry, go, Chris. It's all.
Yeah, so to start off the comp, I was playing tactical orcs, and I was playing the kind of generic kind of three breaker boy list, three tank buster list, all the characters, bunch of trash. The only kind of like interesting part of my list was I was running 3 units of grots, like Gretchen, just to have like the cheapest possible like OC dumps and just move blocks. They were really great at just screening as well because it's just 40 points for 11 idiots. Apart from that, the list was pretty just generic. A few trucks, just kind of played 40k really well. Tank busters are very silly, especially with stealth and plus one to hit. So it was a good list. It worked really well.
Hmm.
They don't get stealth and plus one to hit anymore.
No. So did you design it with certain matchups or lists that you want to go hunt, like your particular role in the team?
So there was a little bit as I definitely thought, especially with Jonty having um, a preference to not go into toughness 10 and above to make sure that I had a game into like Imperial Knights, all the tank heavy lists, all that kind of stuff. I wanted to make sure I had a positive game, so that's why the 3 breakers and 3 tank busters to really push through. One as much damage 3, but just also as much damage into vehicle kind of heavy lists,
Hmm.
just to kind of make sure that we can dodge Jonty, but we still have other good matchups. With myself, yourself, Charlie, and Josh's list, we kind of could go into vehicle lists as well. So I feel like we had that kind of covered there. But apart from that, it was just a good list that could go into like it could really go on most tables. Even on a bad table, you can still bring home points with it, just because you have so many things and like you still shoot really hard. So
Yeah.
it was a good list. It worked really well for the weekend. I had a lot of fun.
John T, you You want to go next with your Ultramarines?
Yeah. So I mean, I was taking the old philosophy of you want to specialize and dominate those particular matchups as much as possible. So, I mean, when we were talking about the lineup going into it, we were pretty confident we were taking Bridgehead and Orcs. So we knew going in that if I took my T10 and above makes me cry list, I could like, especially with the meta, right? Like we were looking at creations of bile, Orcs. Um, there's always a lot of Necrons. There's what else? Eldar, who I didn't intentionally spec towards, but was just kind of captured by what I was going for anyway. Um, so the list was Roberta Gilliman, Manius Kelgar with Flamestorm aggressors, which I know is not a common choice, but again, specializing into what I wanted in those matchups was really strong. And those aggressors did work. Like, definitely no regrets there. Um, we had the lieutenant with combi weapon, who we always love. 3 JPIs, 3 predator destructors running the heavy bolter sponsons. It's just spit out so many shots with double oath +1 to wound. It's just rips shit up. A bunch of chaff like scouts and bits and pieces, and then the last sort of key tech piece for my intended matchups was the 6-man blade guard with the Judicia, which got cheaper, which is hot. But people said to me, "Oh, you think it's a good unit?" No, I don't. It's a trash unit. It's not good, except for the matchups where it's really good. And then it's like you just cannot charge anywhere over the side of the board because I'll reactive move into range of a heroic, and then you get heroic and you'll die before I do, and we'll just do it again and again and again. The whole with the amount of CP that I could pump out, it was just exactly what I wanted.
Yeah, because you had the super CP efficiency of gaining 1 guaranteed plus 1 free every turn, right? With Gulliman.
Yeah, so I mean, I think functionally I was playing with
5
25
CP.
command points in a game
Yeah,
because
5
it's
CP a
I
battle
get a
round.
free per turn, and often that free was like it's super easy to have grenade, or my favorite was always adaptive tactics, just chucking something in a different doctrine.
Yeah.
I didn't want to call assault, but you know what? This unit of JPIs this turn is going to go super fast and contest that objective, so they're an assault doctrine. Or these scouts are going to go out onto this objective and do an action, or pop a light unit of yours, and I'm going to put them in tactical so that I can free strat them 6 inches straight back instead of it being a D6. That was one that I did quite a lot in my match with Finn, was just using those doctrines to get what you want out of those strats. Doing it for free is amazing.
Yep.
Awesome.
There's definitely a lot of pre-planning in that detachment, though, right? There's a lot of like forethought that has to go into each of your turns because you have so many options available, right? Like,
Yeah, absolutely. Every turn you draw your cards and you go, right, what's happening this turn, and you finish your previous turn with as many units as you want in the 12-inch aura from Gilliman, right, to use the free strats. And then I'm like, cool, do I want one of these tanks to go fast and get bonus AP and ignore cover? Do I want this unit to go fast and charge? Do I want to play a cagey turn? If you can formulate that plan, especially with you've got to put down 2 oaths, and one only activates when the other's dead. So knowing which order round to put those, there's a lot of decisions you have to make right at the start of your turn. And if you can do that well, like with the fights first brick as well, often what I would do is I would oath the thing I wanted to kill, and then I would oath the thing that wants to come hit me, so that, well, if you cannot come and charge me because the Judicia unit is getting full rerolls to hit and +1 to wound, and so the blade guard will take reroll ones to save, so that they don't even die easy. It's just too much for a lot of armies to deal with.
That's a John T special.
The amount of planning and decisions Jonty pre-makes is
Yes.
always astounds me. The way he plays the game. What about
Um,
you, Dylan? And I reckon Dylan MVP of our team the entire weekend.
100%.
I still have no idea what your army does. I didn't even read your list, so
You
this
know
will be the
what?
first time I'm hearing about
Neither
it.
did most of my opponents, so I had that going for me. So in my first game, I told the dude that once per game, my entire army gets a 2-up invul, and he believed me, so that was good. Carried on from there.
Shh, let's tell people this is how we win.
No, I
Yes,
love
have to
Admech
cheat.
for many reasons. Their damage capabilities is not one of them, but they look great. They're fun to play, and you whip out that old reliable like. We don't know what exactly is going to be the highest scoring things, but what's going to score fine every single time? I know,
Yeah.
60 Skatari. Let's go. Done. So very basic Skatari Hunter cohort list. I've got 3 Marshals. I had a Techno for the 12-inch denial, 30 Rangers, 30 Vanguard, 2 Sky Stalkers, 2 Infiltrators, 10 Rust Stalkers, which in retrospect didn't really work for me for what I wanted them to do. I'd probably just replace them with more Infiltrators or more Sky Stalkers in the future. 3 Cerberus Raiders, 3 Iron Striders, a Disintegrator, and 3 Dune Riders. Yeah, all I did pretty much every single game was put stuff on an objective, put stuff on their objective, and see what they did. And funnily enough, what worked in my favor almost every single game was a combination of people underestimating how hard it is to kill Skatari when they have stealth, Protector Doctrine up for -1 to be hit in melee, and then there's the normal 5-up invul. It's like one of the matches was against Creations of Bile, and he kept sending one legionary squad and a lord into the Satari, and that's like twice the points, if not more, of a squad. I'm like, but it's not going to kill me, bro. I told him like every time he sent one squad out, I was like, that I'm probably going to survive that. He's like, no, I don't think so. Bounce. Well, 3 dudes left, and if it's Vanguard, then it's like, cool, your guys are OC now, 1 each or 0 on the Lord, and I hold this objective still. And again, there are a lot of times where people underestimate the damage you can do if they let you focus fire things down. In the last game against the Legions of Excess, he tried to jail me and DPS just like stat check me with fiends, but turns out that a 5-up invul, I thought they had a 4-up invul, so that's why I was more worried than I should have been. 5-up invul does not work when you got full hit and wound rolls. But yeah, I had a lot of fun. I didn't score high. I didn't have a list that could score high, but I had a baseline minimum of like 60 points in the game, and then it was a case of could I limit the opponent around that sort of value, and could I just edge it out? But I had
And
a
it
ton of
turns
fun.
out
It
the
was
answer
great.
was yes.
Yes, I mean, let's be honest. With this kind of a list, you're going to score max points for the first 3 or 4 turns, and then you're like, cool. Let's see how the rest of it goes.
Yeah.
Get
Yeah.
tabled by Cameron almost. That was my worst game by far against the damn reroll hits, ignores line of sight dudes. Just that
Negation
one
squads.
squad basically tabled me, and it would have been a 14-6 in Cam's favor with his Grey Knights if it weren't for the fact that a brave Skatari squad managed to survive in his DZ for the Gambit. And I was like, yes, pull that back to a
Oh,
12-8.
I didn't hear about that. That's
excellent.
great.
That is awesome. We'll talk about that more in the rounds when we go to them. But I think Josh played the 15 Warden Triple Blade Champ Double Caladius tanks with smattering of sisters, some Venushai, just very
Yep.
good Custodes, solid defender list. We had him as a flex defender, didn't we?
Yeah. He had some very good matchups, right?
Yeah,
And then some very
yeah,
like average matchups. So it's like, cool, we can throw him into something bad, or we can actually kind of push him into something great. Like if you could go into Marines and stuff like that, he just eats them up.
yeah.
Um,
Or
so
if he
it's like
just
kind of like
rolls
a
was
great flex.
64 up saves in a row, he just eats Legions of Excess as well.
Yeah, Joshua being Joshua. So
Yeah,
Joshy
I,
good.
Joshua's team score, like if you average it out over the last like however many events he's attended, is actually ridiculous.
yeah,
Because there was an event last year, I think it was, where he did get 500 points. He didn't drop a single point
yeah,
the
yeah.
entire event. He's a madman.
I think there was end of ninth edition. That it was crazy.
yeah,
Like the perfect 500 is an awesome thing to see.
yeah. I've done 300. I haven't done 500 yet.
Yeah.
Still got to do it at a 2-day.
Same.
Maybe this weekend.
Yeah, my best was 300 at Bay Harbour with Hypergrip Necrons.
Yeah.
Mm.
Three
Um,
handies.
yeah. So my
Yeah.
list was. Oh, John
No,
thought you were going
I
to
was
talk
just gonna
more
say
about his
that it
300.
was no. I want to talk about Josh, and we were tossing up between Shield Host and Talons a lot.
Mm,
And I think Charlie, you were very much on the Shield Host train, and I was thinking Talons. And I know, like, I think Josh was talking to you and being like, "Oh, okay, yeah, Shield Host." And then he'd come talk to me, and then he'd leave that thinking Talons. And I do want to,
yeah.
I do want to take credit that he, at the end of the event, he was like 100% Talons was the right call.
Mm.
Um, and I think what it came down to was we were looking at the matchup with Legion of Excess, where you want as much damage as possible for when they come up and they consider whether or not they want a seductive gambit or whatever that thing's called. Um,
Yeah.
and in that particular matchup, Shield Host is really good. But I think in everything else, the reactive move in Talons is amazing. And I
I
know
think
we
it
were
was a
talking.
bit of a bit of my playstyle. Shield Host works for me a lot better. I can see better plays
Yeah,
with Shield Host. Talons doesn't really do it for me. Um, but I played very MSU Custodes where I go out and kill things and I trade and I win that way. What I told
yes,
Josh right at the end as well is, um, look, your role as a flex defender. If you're a flex attacker, I would say go with Shield Host because you can create probably bigger differentials once you get those
for
kills
sure.
rolling.
Yeah.
But if you're going to be flex defender, then Talons is the way to go.
100%.
And I think we made the right call.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I think so too. I mean, his list was very straightforward, but it was like, here's, you know, 15 Wardens with Trajan and 2 Blade Champs and 2 Grav Tanks, and then, a Venetarian girls, and that list can just do a lot of good things.
Yeah. I mean, he just played it like Shield Host anyway. He just ran at people, so you know.
Well, usually.
I think round one he
But
finished his game in 40 minutes, and then came over and
yeah,
said, "What are you doing? Why are you still in round turn two?"
yeah, I had the pleasure of reversing that on him in one round. I don't remember which one it was, but I finished my game early, and I came over and just started bothering him, be like, "Why are you still playing, Josh? Why are you still playing?" Because he had done that to me for the previous 2 rounds.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, Josh was an absolute champ.
Yeah,
yeah,
he was a truck. Absolutely. Like he would just take pretty much anything. There was even one round, I think it was round 3, where he was like, just don't put me into that. That's the only thing I don't want. And then I was like, well, it's happening. I'm sorry. And I
Uh,
did it. And then he came back and won it. So I was like, come on, dude. Like,
that,
you
that
can't
was
say you don't
Inaria.
want something
Yeah,
and then win it.
we were like, Josh. Actually, we think if you just run at the elf dude, like
yeah.
Yanari
Poor
don't have the
Kobe.
damage output as the other detachments. So if you just
Yes.
run at him and just beat him to death with wardens, we think you do pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, nah. He's an absolute trooper, though. Like, we threw him into a lot of bad matchups and he still brought home some amazing results. So, like, props to him. He did great.
Oh my god, his 20-0 in the last round as well. Like Hayden and I were like
Man.
sweating bullets trying to outthink each other, like
Yeah.
playing fourth dimensional chess. And Josh is like, "Oh, yeah, I got a 20."
Yeah.
like ain't no thing, and I'm just like, "Ha." And then yeah, that certainly helped in my match knowing that we had that in the bag, or
Yeah.
that
Yeah,
score banked.
yeah. I played Bridgehead, just a whole bunch of infantry and scions. That list does not exist anymore, so we probably don't really need to dig into it too far. But my role was, I did think about running a more balanced list with a couple of Dawns, a few more transports, that kind of thing. But I think I skewed just full infantry as I'm just going to overwhelm you with stuff. And I think for most of the games it worked well, where I could just focus on picking off and win the war by attrition. Like a lot of games for the first 2 turns, I didn't even use scions. I just played with my Cassicans and the Krieg infantry and the engineers. And by the time I got to turn 3, my opponent's like, "This is looking pretty even." And I went, "Now's my go turn. Half my army is arriving on the table now." And they'd just be,
Yeah.
"I forgot about those." And then yeah, finish the game turn 3. Um, but yeah, I think I kind of skewed more towards the killing T3 bodies a lot. So we had options to push Eldar into what we wanted to go into. And a lot of those elite infantry lists are just, strength 8, strength 9, +1 to wound, full rerolls. Is just, yeah,
Yes, it must be nice
ridiculous.
being able to play these games that finish in turn 3 or something, and you don't sit there still like counting 30 dice attack rolls in turn 5. Yeah, must be nice.
Yeah. Yeah,
Pretty
good luck
much.
with that, Dylan.
Tate
Um,
was asking, would you say Josh overthought the decision on Shield Host versus Talon?
I certainly wouldn't say he overthought it, because I think, it was at no point was the decision a detriment. Like, we weren't having
Mm.
decision paralysis. And it helps that the lists are identical, right? Like, you basically just go, am I shield host? Am I talons? It's
hmm,
it's a very similar list.
Yeah.
yeah.
So,
It was
he
probably
basically
more
had
me
the
and
list down.
Jonty confusing him more than anything else.
Oh,
Yeah. I think he was just like, pick one. Like, he really
Yeah,
didn't care.
yeah, yeah.
that's interesting. What I'm going to say, um, how many of our opponent painted our armies? That is another interesting part of this.
I think more
Chris,
people painted my army than I think I've painted armies in general. So,
well,
that's the
your
question.
was painted by a lot of people, or most of some of that stuff. One of them was Ryan,
Yeah.
which we are very thank you about thankful about that. Um, and the fun part that you ended up playing against him in
Yeah.
the
Yeah. That was
round
a fun
three.
round as well. It was very
Shall
fun.
we, Pato, do you want to bring up round one? We'll just jump through
Yeah,
all the
I will
rounds.
bring them. I will bring in. What I was going to mention is that Dylan, who painted your part of your army?
Oh, it was definitely Tate. Well, it was his models, because I refuse to buy Skystalkers because they are hideous and hideous to play with. They just fall over. And I definitely broke at least 2 of them over the weekend. I'm sorry, Tate. Also, not
Don't
sorry
worry.
because I hate them.
Don't feel sorry because he then was driving with the box of miniatures in his car. Did a um, very strong brake. All the models went everywhere in the car, hit apparently the wall, and most of them broke.
Oh.
So
Is that
don't
why
worry.
he's
Oh,
selling it to you?
That's part of the reason. I guess.
Actually, yeah, it was
Thank
a
you,
bit of
Tate.
a rushed effort to get our armies ready for this one, wasn't it? I had to paint 30 scions and a whole
I
bunch
had
of
to
other
print
stuff.
you 30 science.
That's right, yeah.
I had to paint you your engineers and the Torox. We were
And the
just all
ratlings.
painting Charlie's crap.
Let's not forget the ratlings. I helped paint Chris's orcs a little bit, based all the
Yep.
models
I have to
up
paint
to what?
my orcs.
Yeah,
I
midnight
had
the
to,
night before.
we,
Jonty just
we
showed up, and there was an army
yeah,
waiting
man.
for him.
Yeah, the painting for me this time. Oh my god, oh yeah, wow, so much,
you,
just
John.
just lots.
So John T did not have even an army, and we
I
provided a full army for him.
didn't
He
bring a
showed up
single
there
model.
with dice.
Yeah, it was so easy to travel.
God damn it, John T. But
I brought my
yes,
dice
we
box.
that was quite interesting. But that's also show you the community how the community works, and yeah, everybody was happy to. We borrow a lot of models. You, Charlie,
Mm.
borrow some models here and there.
Yeah, borrowed from Dylan, from Ben Clark. Shout out to all the guys that helped us or lent us models.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
wouldn't happen without
I,
you
I
guys.
I lent some models to Kobe, to yeah, a lot of people also, and it's like yeah, that's part of one of the things that I love from the community. All those things happening, we help each other. Let's go to let me bring the other view. Yeah, can you all see this?
Yep.
Yep.
So here we have do what do we want? We go for
Just
through
go
the
into our
teams first,
round
or
one, I think. Oh, do we have time to go through everything? It is 16 teams, 80 players. It's a big event.
Let's just go through our
yeah,
rounds.
Yeah.
yeah,
Sorry,
perfect. Yeah,
guys.
yeah.
Pato
Now
wandered on too
we
long at the start.
that's fine. Um, We'll give a shout to all the guys that we play that will cover at least eight of the team. So um, no, sorry, 10. So round one,
So round one in the pod system is was it seed four teams playing seed one and seed two teams playing
correct.
seed three?
Well, let's go for the first thing. You guys with Chili Cow, you win. You were seated as seed one, so you were the top of the pod, and you have seed two bench warmers, seed three. Who was
Winning is
your seed?
heresy. Kia's team.
Oh, winning is heresy, and Perils of the North A was the seed four.
Yeah. What's funny is both Kia and Ryan's team, Benchwarmers and Winning is Heresy, were in our pods at the last team's event last year as well.
Correct. That funny and sad at the same time. In the for us in the calf, we were seed two. We were very surprised to ended up in seed two, to be honest. Um, and we had Northern Leftovers as a seed one. That was the very tough team. We have Hatred, and the last one, I cannot remember what was the other one. Um, oh yes, All Dies No Direction with Mad Strangers as captain. What a great team!
That'll be a fun team to play against.
Yes, that was. Perils, round one, captain.
So basically, our whole strategy was making sure that Dylan didn't go into the Tyranids, and if that didn't happen, everything else kind of looked pretty good for us. So
We
we
had a
just put
pretty good matrix
Dylan
for this
down
one,
as
didn't
first
we?
defender, and I was like, "This
Yeah.
solves everything." It's good.
Yeah, we had some pretty good matchups against this particular team composition. No real weaknesses.
You'll
Yeah.
find putting Dylan down as first defender was a common
Yeah.
thing.
There was a bus that arrived at the start of pretty much every round, and there's one person that jumped on it.
And I was like, hey guys, so what map do none of you want to play on? I'll take that one. No worries.
Mhm.
What an
Chris,
absolute.
how did the pairings go for this one? We put
Well,
Dylan down first.
Yep.
Do you remember who our attackers were and what did they put for the first defender?
Gosh, no, I do not remember all
They
of it.
100% threw Tyranids as part of that, I remember.
Yeah.
yeah, I'm pretty sure their Neds was their first defender. Hang on, I still have our worksheet. I'll be able to work backwards and figure it out.
Look
Yeah.
at
I mean,
that.
no biggie. I was curious because I
Yeah.
wasn't at the pairings table most of the weekend. I was setting up tables, so I didn't actually see how the pairings go.
Yeah.
What we can say that we went well, the data, what we know. Well, if you want to know more details or a little bit more of that, Chris, you have a cool video on
Oh yeah, that's right.
your channel, you
Yep.
in Odyssey 40K, that you went through some details of the round, talking about a little bit of the pairing process and the logic. So, guys, if
Yep.
you want to see that with more details, go to Odyssey 40K and have a look to that video because I know you went through all of this and you have a little bit of the graph on what was the logic on the decision that you guys made,
Yep.
which it is fine. But what one of the things that I got from that video and from the conversations that you guys had was about your data. How good and how accurate was the data on your matrix?
Yeah, it was huge, and I think Jonty is actually a big part behind that. Is he played devil's advocate and talked to us all about was like if he thought a matchup was maybe slightly different, is he'll be like, well, have you thought about this? Have you thought about this? And he would kind of make us either change our opinion or reinforce our opinion. So like it was a really good way of like ensuring that everyone's data was really good. And yeah, I think that was a big thing Jonty did. It really helped. I think like if we didn't know a matchup, Jonty was like, "Well, I've played it enough times because Jonty plays like 20 games of Warhammer a week, so he plays a lot."
Not
So like, it
anymore.
kind of helped.
Recently.
Yeah.
Can,
But
can
like,
I
it was
just
a really
say?
good bouncing board, right? Like,
Can I just say? My data was pretty good for 0 reps of Bridgehead.
No, no,
That's
but because I had played Bridgehead and I had played the things that you were going to play, and I was like, well, this is how I think the match goes, right?
Yeah.
And it was always the same. You put out the Kriegs, they come out to kill the Kriegs, you kill those things with Scions. You win game.
Yeah,
No, I mean,
kind of.
look, that was a big takeaway from WTC last year was I don't think we challenged each other's projections enough.
Yep.
Yep.
Because, but you know, how I like to do data and stuff like that is kind of like how you defend a thesis, right? You say, this is what I think this match is, this is why I think it's this, and then other people have, well, let's question it, let's challenge it, and then once you've kind of finished doing that, that person reconsiders and maybe they think it's the same, maybe they disagree, but you've had the challenge and at
Yep.
least you've made them think about those different elements. But at the end of the day, you always got to trust your player that their data is right. Because, you know, we
Yep.
get people on our team who are these faction specialists and you have to trust that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right.
And
And it's
we
even just
also,
great
yeah,
to help if you're not super sure on a faction, like just telling them about the extra tricks. So it might not change their opinion on the score, but just understanding the matchup better is also like a huge part of that as well. Like
Oh yeah, it
Absolutely.
helped me so much for some of these things that I had never played. Honestly, I was happy for John T's questions. I was like, God damn, he's making me think about it. It's good for me, but god damn.
use my brain.
yeah. It's all the little tricks and a cheeky enhancement here that you didn't realize actually changes the dynamic of the matchup, right? So we
Yeah.
learned that
I mean,
after
I've
Jonty's
missed
game.
them.
Yeah.
I've missed them before.
When Jonty played the NIDS, which had the you need to battle shock when you come on the table, and he's like, well, I'm hypercrypt, so yeah,
Oops.
we learned our lesson from that matchup.
Yeah, I mean, there was also the um, that strat that you could use. They changed it now, but you used to just be like, in the fight phase, pick one of your units, pick one of their units, take battle shock check. There's no
Yes,
requirement that you actually be able to shoot or fight. It was
yeah,
just
or
like,
be
here's
at
a battle shock
range.
check, here's a
Yeah,
battle shock check, here's a battle shock check.
yeah,
Eventually, you'll fail one.
Yeah.
And that's a great a big deal with them. So here the first round, Charlie, you was a little bit of warming up the dice, getting your second game with the
well,
army.
first game with this list, second game with Bridgehead. Um,
Yes.
it was interesting. Jed was a lovely lad. He said this was his first big tournament that he's gone to. Um, so we had a very very chill game. Just talking through him through some of the nuances of it. It was really funny. We were so into it. He's playing Blood Angels, right? So he's like, "I'm gonna come get you. I'm going first. I've got scouting. I want to charge you." And when we got to the charge phase, we both realized he hadn't drawn his secondaries yet. So we rolled back. so,
Done that.
yeah. So we rolled
Yeah.
back, did the secondaries, replayed kind of bits and pieces, but he said, "No, I'm still going to come in." It was just because I built a lot of mortal wounds tech into my list with 3 units of engineers, 2 units of Cassicans, the free grenade strat from engineers as well, such key pieces. And against, because he had 2 bricks of 6 Sandguard, and I remember Dante's unit came in, killed a Telrox. Telrox blew up, rolled the mortal wounds, killed a body. He charged in. I did and I told him, if you consolidate into my mortars, I'm going to pop the end of your fight phase. I can do d6 mortal wounds to you and kill myself out of combat. And he's like, yep, that's fine. Came in, I killed 2 Sandguard. I rolled a 6. So by the time I went to shoot Dante, he was by himself after all of the mortal wounds went through. Just
Oh,
little bits and pieces like that. Actually, I didn't have to commit my sounds um, very
Huge.
early. So just the amount of stuff I had to play the game with without 30 sales dropping in. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think the game was over by turn 3.
Oof.
But lovely lad, great game, and yeah, hope he sticks with the Blood Angels. It wasn't Inheritors. I would have been scared if it was Inheritors. All strength 6, ton of attacks, and he could just trade up. No, he was playing I can't remember the Hero Hammer one with
Yeah,
the
he
bonuses
was
for.
playing
Yeah.
Inherited. You're talking about
Right.
Liberators.
Oh, sorry. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
okay.
You got the attachment.
Not the
mixed up.
+2 strength one, but the one
Yeah.
where
Yeah,
the
that's
character
liberated.
units get bonuses. Yeah, sorry,
Yeah.
yeah, and here it is. Yeah, no, it was really cool. I hadn't
nice.
played against before, so that was really refreshing for me as
It's a
well.
cool detachment. It's really fun.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
had some tricks. Like he had some
Mm.
tricks. It was really cool. Yeah,
Cool beans. Anything else from this round, guys? Any? Well, was the first round coming? Seed four is a tough first game for them.
Mhm.
Going to the seed one, but also is the pressure on you guys that you need to win, and having seed two is strong, like bench warmers with good players there. The pressure, I guess, was around getting as much point as you can to
Mm.
create that differential.
Yeah, that was
getting
kind
some
of
reps in
the
as well.
yeah, that was kind of the plan of the first couple of rounds, and why we still put in quite a bit of work. Given that, like, we never really doubted that we would be running the rounds, but it was about getting as many points out of the early stages as we could, especially because the top scoring team coming out of pods would be playing the lowest scoring team coming out of pods. So there's
Ah,
a bit of an incentive there as well. If you can really dominate your pod, you get to play the team that did the worst in their pod but still won.
Yeah.
makes sense. Makes
Yeah.
sense. So 85 was a very good result. Um, but what happened with your C2? They got 87. So they were higher on points, but you're right. You were doing the job there. So round two, round two. What do we have on round two? Winning is heresy. Should be yes.
Yep.
Yeah, this is against the C3 Kia's team.
And
C3
this was on
QST.
ritual, right? Was the mission? It's a very drawish mission here.
Yes.
Yes, the ritual.
I don't like
And
ritual.
here you are, guys. Here we are. A solid 78-22. Um, Interesting, I guess, matchups. Again, Custodes, Josh doing Josh things. Got a 20. Um, Dylan, you went against the Space Marine, the Chaos Space Marine CSM. Was creation of Biles this one?
Yeah, that was the 10 Warp Talons, double Possessed Brick. No,
Mm.
10
Oof.
Chosen with Fabius. And no, sorry, this was Packbound, I believe, actually, not Creations of Bile. Yeah, I'm
Creation?
pretty sure this was Packbound. He was using the annoying can't shoot me strat that
Oh,
I also
yeah.
had, but I was like, that's not fair. You're not allowed to use my tools against me.
This is my strat, not yours.
Because I kept using it on the forge free, and I'm like, let me kill it. It hurts.
Interesting. But you got good.
Yeah,
And so this was your biggest score in the weekend?
yeah, I would say this one came down to just maybe a bit of inexperience on his part playing into a list that isn't actively trying to kill him so much as just ruin his day in other ways. But the amount of times there was uh, three Rangers or five Vanguard or some nonsense in his deployment zone on an objective, blocking a Rhino, just absolute. I don't want to play this game anymore. This guy's a bully. Let's just, punch him and get it over with
I'm
because
not gonna kill you, but you will wish you were dead.
yeah,
Yeah.
we were playing different games in a way, and it just suited me that I could live in protected doctrine all game, which meant that there was no chance he could efficiently trade into anything. And the Rust Stalkers were the most valuable in this game out of any of the other ones because they stopped the Chosen Brick coming out. He respected the Rust Stalkers way too much. And I was like, listen, if these guys do literally nothing this game except make you not want to commit the Chosen, I'm so happy. They'll stay there.
Yeah.
Perfectly fine by me. But yeah, it
Interesting.
was a great game. I enjoyed it. I got to be horrible.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Chad is a great lad.
Yeah,
Um, but
for
yes,
sure.
that was
And now he
interesting.
hates AdMech. It's great. Win-win.
We all
Excellent.
do, Dylan. We all do.
Yeah, it is a win. Chris, you got this a very interesting game with Kier and the Um,
Metal, yeah. Yeah, I had this as a slight win in the Matrix, like a 3.5. And then the ritual going first also kind of sucked here. It was one of those ones where it's like, if he doesn't come out, Tactical does have like an issue, especially on Super L's, which is what we were playing on, to like actually get out and get to their opponent, especially when they have access to -2 charge. They can control the angles as well. They're just as fast as me, if not faster. So I kind of just had to like, I kind of all in. I got like, I flipped a couple of primaries, but then by the end of it, um, I yeah, just ended up being a draw. I couldn't push primary because he could just keep making objectives. His ethereal came down on turn 3 and then just kept on running around making more objectives, which was quite funny. And yeah, like a really good game. Was hoping to push a bit more, but it was just. I also made a mistake and I lost a unit of tank busters early, which was we'll ignore that. If I had an extra unit of tank busters, definitely would have helped. But yeah, no, really good game, really fun. And Kia is so like such a great person to play against. Really chill. Really just wants to play by intent. Just great game.
So
nice.
Dylan's had to drop because it's his bedtime. So bye, Dylan.
Oh, Dylan has to
Yeah,
drop
yeah,
because it's bedtime.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't have much longer left in me as well, fellas. I gotta catch a plane in the morning, but I'll stick around for another couple of rounds.
Well, you're going to be sleeping in the plane and drinking beers in the plane, don't you?
You're half right.
Jonty doesn't drink
Oh,
beers. Jonty only drinks beers after half a bottle of absinthe.
Yeah,
Yes.
just absinthe.
You
Yeah,
found it.
oh,
ignore the beer. Straight to absinthe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
straight
But
to
then
absence.
once I've had the absinthe, then I can have the beer.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
It's weird, but it
Oh,
works.
interesting. Okay, that's good to know. John T, what was your round here, David March with the Eldaris? This is a rematch from the last Teams event.
Yeah, so yeah, no, David and I had actually a very enjoyable game. I did actually really enjoy playing David this time. Um, this time,
This
but
This is live. We
John
can't edit.
yeah. No, it's a joke that came up is at the very start of the round when David and I appeared. He said, "I'll try not to whine as much this round," and no, man, we just had a really good game. Um, this was David playing aspect host, so the more damaging of the Eldari breeds. But I
Yep.
have had several whips now into Eldari, and like I've just got the right tools in my list to take things apart, and it's very hard for him to trade because all his units are more expensive than mine and have a like none of his units guarantee kill mine, but all my units guarantee kill his. If I put a unit of JPIs into something, it just murders him, just murders. It's so all you kind of have to avoid to win the game is giving him things for free. You can't have the Dark Reapers coming out of the transport, shooting something, killing it, getting back in, and being safe. So long as you set everything up, so it's if you want to come and kill my unit, you can do that, but I will get your
Sweet.
unit back.
Yeah.
That's basically how you beat Elder, because then they don't want to come out and trade. Um, and then that kind of gives you board control. You start rapid ingressing stuff. You know 6-inch steep stroke inceptors. You have the ability to force plays when they don't want to play.
Yeah, interesting. Well, you had as you say, you have a bunch of rapes against Eldari. You already knew. You had we have that game where you were playing your first iteration of the list. Um, um, where I don't know how, but luckily I killed your brick of what was the name, the blade gun brick with the reapers.
Yeah, yes, that's right. You jumped out, and I just rolled no saves, and they all died.
Yeah,
Yeah, that
which
that
was
unit doesn't like that match, right? The Blade Guard don't like the Eldar match. It's like I go 6 inches. I'm not
yeah,
durable into the Eldar profiles.
And you
It's fine.
overkill everything, right? So you don't need the damage profile.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's
correct.
like unless he's trying to trade into you with Howling Banshees, and you can heroically intervene. Like they don't really have a
Mm,
place.
Yeah.
I would just like more cheap things, but
yeah.
helps
No,
you out
no.
a bit.
Well, just saying. I know that you put a lot of reps on the Eldar. You did your work there, getting the data, which you can reflect there. You were confident do what you needed to do. Um, and you, Charlie, what did you do to Daniel Ashton? Please tell us.
I was just going to say, we've got a question from Iceman Full. Hey guys, have you
Oh,
considered doing a combined teams event with Properly Cocked? Could have a huge teams tournament. Cozy Club has room for 100-ish players. Well, this one was 80, it was 16 teams, so I'd love to do a 20, 24-man team event.
yes.
Yep, not against running one in Wellington with Steve and Sean and the crew. Just gotta, it's probably more travel, getting
Mm.
everyone down for a weekend. And I mean, at what point do we just run a super major? Because I would love to do that as well.
Yeah.
Oh
It's
yeah.
one of our goals when we started Tactical Chili was to host a 100+ kind of major event. So yeah, any way we can help support and get that, working
We
with
have
other
the venue
other
now.
groups. Yep,
Technically speaking, the venue that we have now, we can go to. Um, how was the numbers that we went easily, Charlie?
probably 120 pretty comfortably, maybe even 130 in the new venue. The problem is you're
It is
starting with about
120.
6 rounds,
Yeah,
7 rounds at that stage. You have to do the shadow
Do
rounds
it.
or 3-day events. I know Jonty will be up for it. This man plays like 15 games of Warhammer in a row, and
Evan
it's
still
fine,
wants to play some more.
and still wants to play some
Yeah.
more. Yeah,
At the WTC, I was like, oh, I'm kind of sad it's over. Could play a little bit more 40k.
yeah.
Then I
We
went
went
home and
to
played some TTS.
we finished our went to Belgium on the Monday, and then by the mid afternoon, Jonty's like, I already feel like playing some 40k.
but John T loves playing 40k.
Jonty
I
does.
quite like
He
40k.
kind of likes it.
Yes. So
Um,
yeah, we are happy. We can do. We more than happy to work with anybody to bring more and bigger events. That's for sure.
yeah, yeah. My round was actually interesting. I was still filling out the army in the list without any sort of durable units, and with my entire army, apart from 2 Taroxes, was just T3 infantry, right? So, World Eaters, I kind of started Krieg on the line, just going, "Hey, here's something for you to charge," and Dan went first. This was the new Grotmist detachment, I think. So he just went, I'm going to pick these three to advance and charge. And then everything's got a 5 at Pain and +2 move. So he got all the right combos off. He went first, charged 2 units of 6, 8 bound, basically into my DZ. He was on my home objective turn 1, tagging multiple things, which is fine. And in my turn 1, I passed the leadership test because I ordered the Tarox just hard rolled a 7. But the infantry units, I gave them orders for +1 leadership, fell back, and then I picked up 10 out of the 12 8 bound, while also dropping his 10-man Berserker squad to about 5 or 6, just with a unit of Kassakin down the bottom. And it was just all through grenades and mortal wounds, engineers popping bombs, and a bit of shooting from Kassakin's. It wasn't, I hadn't committed silence at that stage. Um, so he kind of just kept bringing more and more things in, but not quite having the output to really finish me off in my DZ, and then in my drop turn, I just took the rest of the table. So this was ritual. The only objective I created in my deployment zone was so the 8 bound will be there, and I knew when I dropped in, I wanted the full reroll to wounds. Um, no other reason. And then I just went and took the 3 objectives he created, and then scored, bottom half of the game for primary. I just think World Eaters is one of those armies where if you can just out trade them and stop them killing your good things, they just run out of steam by turn 3.
Yep.
Absolutely.
What
Yeah,
a
so
great
yeah,
night.
I think a lot of people think the Bridgehead list didn't like heavy pressure, fast armies, whereas it actually doesn't mind because it has enough stuff to screen you out and blunt you, and then you're in the rapid fire range of everything, and it can just reposition. You're giving up board space. Um, yeah, so it actually wants you to come in quickly.
Yep.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That was well. That was um, round two.
Hmm.
Good and high. Good points there. Ready to go for round three against the bench warmers, where the round was going to be decided. Um,
Yeah, we didn't have a good matrix into them.
Well,
Their list
our
composition,
Matrix was like 50-50, right?
yeah,
Like
it
it
was very
wasn't
drawish.
great,
Yeah,
wasn't bad.
yeah,
was
So
not great, was not good, was not great, but was good
yeah.
enough.
so in the spreadsheet that Chris prepared, he sorted the enemy lists by the average score that each of us predicted into them, and we had 3, 3.1, 3.1, 3.2, 3.3. So
Yeah,
everything was like averaged out as a draw.
Yep.
yeah. Everything averaged out, but there was like a couple of us that had like a bunch of twos, and then and then the other players would have a bunch of like fours into the same faction. So like it was a weird balance, and which made it very tricky to pair with. I think was
Yeah.
the more difficult part here.
Yeah. I think
Fortunately,
I had the worst matrix because I didn't want to
Mm.
go into a lot of this stuff.
your matrix was point 0.1 better than Dylan's.
Yeah.
Dylan had a 2, a 2.5, two threes, and a 3.5. You had 2, 2.5, 3, 3, 4. But fortunately, we had already a pretty well established plan, and that was send out Dylan first.
Yeah, yeah,
Yep. Yep.
And
Well,
I
I
think he
did
took
not
the
see that
IK,
coming.
didn't he? He took the IK, right?
Yeah, he
yeah,
did. Yeah, he
yeah.
played Logan.
Yeah, and none of us really wanted to play the IK. No, Chris
Yeah.
Oh,
and
like
John.
I would, but yeah, like
Yeah.
yeah. But no, it was great. Like, getting rid of the IK was awesome. I mean, Jonty really didn't have that much of a bad matchup. Like,
Yeah.
he
Once
could kind
IK
of
was gone. Once
yeah,
IK was gone.
yeah,
The
yeah.
IK
That's
was
just
a
saying. I was
2.
like, once that was gone, yeah, like you just get slapped down and you can just take whatever you want. Yeah, it really opened it up for us, which was really really nice.
So Dylan took the bullet.
Yeah, he took it every round, man. Like as I said, that bus never stopped.
And yet he
Again.
tied it. That's
Yeah,
just
nah,
that's a thing, right? As Dylan
Yeah.
goes into a bad match, he gets way more points than he should
yeah,
do.
nah.
Well,
He
at
was an
this point,
absolute stunner.
he's 10, 14, 10. So he was already 4 points up from what he was predicting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Interesting.
my game was very interesting this round because this was the round I actually learned how to play my army. Thank you, Michael. Michael, being a fellow guard player, he was just going, "Aren't you going to scout the rest of your units?" And I went, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "Oh, these three engineer units also have scout." And I was like, "Ah, good to know." So I hadn't read all of the data sheets at this point, just the good stuff. And Michael was kind enough to just take me through and basically, yeah, showed me a whole bunch of stuff I could do with the army. So that was a really cool game, really interesting game. He kind of held back. The Storm Raven didn't come out because there was one thing I couldn't really deal with. But as soon as I dealt with it, it was gone. So he had to wait until I popped all the engineer grenades and melter mines before he would send it out, and it would just pick up a unit or something whenever it came out, right? So I was just sending stuff over to flip primaries. Um, this was taken hold, wasn't it?
Uh,
Yes.
Yeah.
this
No,
was
this was
What?
Linchpin,
No,
Raise
Lynch.
Banner,
Linchpin.
Search and
Oh,
Destroy.
Linchpin. Yeah.
Yeah,
Linchpin, yes.
Search and
Yeah.
Destroy was the big
Yeah.
one this time. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Linchpin was interesting. I was just trying to deny him the was it 10 every turn, put him down to the 6 or 7. And then I think I had one turn I gave him almost no primary, and then that kind of swung it in my favor a little bit. Yeah, just shoving bodies forward, right?
Yeah.
Which is what guard do
Yeah,
really well. I also rolled really hot on my first 2 engineer bombs, rolled 2 6s, which just basically killed the
classic
Brutalis
Charlie.
spread. Um, yeah,
Very cool.
That was you. Um, Johnny, you win against Fishy. You won 20-0. We're not going to talk about this.
Yeah, he didn't really want to play me. He
He
was
did
just
we
not
he
should
want
came
talk
to
to
the
about it
play.
in
table and
detail.
he came to the table and he was just like, I don't really. That's what it is. And then he kind of checked out. And that
It's
was that.
tough.
Yeah. And then you, Chris, went against the Ryan with the CSM. That's also Cov in this case.
Yes, Bile again. This was wild. I had this as a slight loss specifically just because of this table layout, like because it was search and destroy. Is like if he just kind of goes quite aggressive, he can just like jail me for a lot of the game. and I didn't expect him to deploy as aggressively as he did. He literally put, I think, every model apart from his warp talons on the line, and was just like, "I'm just going to go first." And I was like, "If you don't go first, I think I pick up like 20 possessed, your Rhino, and like 5 other guys." Like it
Yeah.
was crazy, but he did go first. But I caught like a lot of breaks in this game as well. I did position to make sure that if he sent his warp talons out, I could heroic with breakers. He then didn't kill the grots and the breakers, so then like his warp talons couldn't go away. So I caught like that was nice. He also had spent all his CP in his second charge phase and failed a 3-inch charge. We actually had to
Oh,
get Dan the TO over, and he paused our clock for about 10 minutes to make sure he measured it correctly. Like he was like, no, 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 because I was like, I measure, you measure it with your rule, like with your tape, and you're like, oh, that's really close. And I was like I just went to Ryan. I was like, should we just grab Dan? He's like, yeah, yeah, yeah. So we just grabbed Dan, and then Dan literally just like he got every measurement device he possibly could to like measure the 3 inches, and found out it was just out because we thought like his Ryan's not going to roll snake eyes, right? So like your old snake
Yeah.
eyes failed the charge, which is that kept a truck and another unit of tank bosses alive, which then like gave me some more differential points. Like I caught a lot of breaks in that game, which I probably shouldn't have. But also it was a game that kind of came down to the first turn die roll because of how Ryan deployed. He played genuinely incredibly aggressively. I think I would have picked up like 800 points of CSM if I went first. So like kind of goes both ways, I suppose. But it was a very fun game. Ryan's a great person to play against, and it was very well supported game, and yeah, it was really fun.
nice. Yeah. Well, on the other hand, Josh went against Kobe with the Inari. That was the
Mhm.
matchup that he did not wanted to play,
Yep.
but I think was more because he did not like the mobility of the army. But um, he did quite well.
Hmm.
I think he literally just ran his entire army at Kobe.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
the full
put the
pressure,
pressure.
the full Josh
Aldari
special.
put the pressure. Yeah, yeah. Now you're right on there. So that's the end of the day. The day is closed with 3 wins, ready to go into the next phase. And
Yep.
you ended up, guys. What was the? You ended up second here.
I think we were third in the end. I think AFW beat us in pod. So I think we ended
Oh,
third out of pod, which means we played second.
let's double check the.
Well, this won't be. This will be the final. So you're looking at the
Yes, yes.
points.
They got more points than you
It's pretty
at the
close.
end of the round.
Pretty close, yeah.
I think
I'm
Same
not
as
everyone's
sure.
pretty
Northern.
close.
It was very close. It didn't really matter. Like we were either second or third out of
Yeah, I think
pod.
you were the third.
Hmm.
So then next day, you guys prepare. We went to have dinner at night.
Yeah.
Both team together was really nice. Really enjoy. Jonty didn't want to go to the best burgers in Auckland, so we ended up going to Longstar. Good enough, but it's fine. Um, and then you guys, well, at the beginning we have one pairing. What was the first pairing that we had? Because there was a change here. You were not going to go against AFW at the beginning. I think you were going against dash dash dash.
Liam's team, yeah, because the
Yeah.
placings were done by round wins, then game wins, not game
Oh, yeah.
wins. Yeah,
And then that
which
changed.
was fixed. Yeah, which was
Yeah.
fixed
Yeah.
on the Friday,
Yeah.
on the Saturday night.
So you ended up playing AFW, and in here, well, we have the game was Fiend, Tate, Cam, Bean, and Frankie in this team.
Hmm.
Legion of X's, Grey Knights, GSC Final Day, Orcs, the same as you,
Yep.
Tactical,
Yep.
and Astra with this was Hammer. Yes,
Hammer of the
Yes.
Emperor.
yeah, Hammer of the Emperor. So what happened here? I think what was the metrics looking for you guys, and what ended up happening on the table?
I think out of pairings, both teams thought that they'd gotten slight wins. AFW kind of told us afterwards that they had a really bad matrix into our 5, and the fact that Purge, I think, also made it worse for them as well because we played Purge this round, which is
Oh
just not a
yes.
great mission for a lot of their armies. They don't want to play the kind of kill one, kill more, like especially when they have so many units in a lot of their armies. So I think it was a bit of an uphill battle, but again, out of pairings, they said that they thought that they had a really good like 55. We I think had like a projected 55 to 60 in ours as well. We were obviously closer with ours than with theirs. But yeah, so
Yeah,
like
I had that conversation with Finn. I was
mm,
like, man, one of our teams is wrong. We're gonna find out who.
yeah, exactly. But yeah, getting Josh into Frankie, we were pretty hesitant on this matchup. We thought we should be fine, but it does also come down to a few dice rolls. Like if Josh just fails a couple of saves early, it can really catapult in the other
Mm.
direction. But obviously that didn't happen. Josh did Josh things again.
Yep.
I think there was a turn where Josh completely whiffed into a keeper, and then the keeper I think whiffed back into him. So it was like, okay, everything balances,
I
right?
think Josh said something about making 39 out of 44 plus saves.
Yeah, like again, Josh doing Josh things, right? Like
I
that's
think that's
just
what
what he
caused the
does.
differential. We had this as quite a drawish game.
Yeah, yeah,
It
yeah,
was
because we
supposed
didn't
to
really
be, right?
know.
It was supposed to be Custodes are going to put the brakes on the Slinish team.
Mm,
Yes.
They need to win. You just need to not lose big, and that was the plan.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Of course, Josh didn't follow the plan.
yeah. Josh has his own play.
Yeah,
Josh has a plan.
walking over there with 15 points was pretty good.
Yeah, Josh
Yeah,
was like,
yeah, it's a good plan.
Yeah, it's a better plan. It was a better plan than the plan.
and did you drop Dylan first in this one?
No, I think we actually dropped Josh first. I
Josh,
think it was the
yeah,
first time
we
Josh
really
came
dropped.
first. Yeah.
Mm.
Oh, because
Because
we
we just
wanted.
looked at it and we were like, there were a couple of things that Dylan was actually good into.
Mm-hmm.
What did
Whereas
we wanted
Josh, the
Dylan and
worst
me
score
into
he had
something?
was a 2.5 and his best was a 3.5. So
Yeah.
What
Was it
was you saying, Charlie?
was it guard that we wanted Dylan and myself into?
Yeah, we pinned. We wanted to pin guard with you and Dylan to force it into one of those matchups.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
oh yeah, it ended up being the mirror match there.
Yeah. So we got to prove which guard was better, which was great. Not anymore. Like that changed, but at the time it was good.
Nice. And well, let's go quickly there. Dylan did what he's supposed to do, stop Cam
Yep.
to score big, which I think that, if I understand correctly, Cam was the sword there, one of the attackers that they had. Um,
Yep.
and
And I think
Dylan did.
with Purgation Squad, access to indirect rerolls against Dylan on Purge, that's a very good result.
Yep.
Yeah,
Now Dylan played like an absolute superstar the entire weekend.
yeah, I think what he said before, he got a secret mission to bring it back to a
Yeah,
12, which was really
that's
good.
right.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Chris, you went against Tate. Tate has million of units. He don't like
Doesn't like Purge, no. I think
that's
if it was any other mission, Tate should just jail me for the entire game and there should be really nothing I could do. And it becomes a very difficult game for me.
Yep.
But because it's Purge, he didn't want to send anything out and I didn't want to overextend because he did have the guns to kill my stuff. So it kind of turned into we both held, we both killed, and then that was kind of the game. I think it was turn 3. He got, I think it was assassinate no prisoners or something like that. So he's like, okay, well, do we send a bit more? And then I got to kill a bit more. So like, but it balanced out. I think the game ended. I think it was a 2 point like actual like physical game in the end, and we're like, cool, sweet. And then we just backed up and left. It was like kind of stared each other for the first half, and then kind of like started killing each other, but we still were killing the same amounts of each other because like all my stuff has characters. So he killed a unit which is 2. So then I kill the unit that killed mine, and then I have to kill one more thing. But he has more things than me. It's an interesting game. It was very fun. Me and Tate were kind of just like at the end of every turn, like and then we're like going to the next person's turn. It was very fun. Tate's a good person to play against.
I think Tate. I was talking with him, and he was like, he was super happy that got the 10-10 because he was not sure about the any of the games in this round just because he hates so much Purge. It's one
Yeah.
of the those that he actually and he was really happy with the 10-10. I can tell you that.
Mm.
He took that as a I will say it's a kind of as a win, but yeah.
Mm.
John T, you win against Fiend Tactical. Was this list similar to yours, Chris?
Similar, he had like a unit of beast snaggers instead of a unit of breakers. A couple of like small tweaks, like he had war bikes instead of storm boys, but like similar in most of the way.
Yeah. Um,
Yeah.
how was this, John T?
This was a really interesting match in that we basically never left our deployment zones except to go throw units into the center. Um, it's like it just kept looking at the board state and being like, the issue with Purge is that if they aren't going to score hold more, there's very little incentive to attack their expansion because you're still going to get hold.
Yeah,
So all I'm doing by sending guys over there and trying to kill you is risking failing charges, um, and risking giving you kill more. So the key thing in this match is, um, every turn Finn got hold and kill because we were just skirmishing with little bits. But every turn, except for the first where you can't, I scored kill more. And for 3 of the turns, I also scored hold more because I was using things like the reactive move scouts. As in I was putting scouts in tactical doctrine, sending them out. The combo weapon lieutenant, who's moving 6. So I was using a whole lot of these pieces where it's like, you want to come put something on the center? No, maybe. If he does, my stuff leaves. If he doesn't, if he just sits back and tries to shoot it off, I'll rapid ingress something else on. So now I have another unit there that he can't kill. So it was basically just tricks like that. Like the reason I had this game as a 4 was because I am very good into orc profiles. You
Yep.
point a Predator Destructor at a squad of tank busters, and the whole squad and the character just disappear with like so reliably.
Yep.
Um, and he knew that, and I knew that, and so it only happened once in the game. But I had the advantage at bottom of turn. Otherwise, it probably would have been closer to a 12. Um, but like it just never ever made sense to go attack him. And
Mm.
then he clearly felt the same because you get in there with 1 or 2 units, and then you're fighting into 3 or 4 of his, and then they get potentially kill more, and you know you're risking giving up more points than you're actually costing your opponent. It was a
makes
weird game,
sense.
but probably my favorite game because it was both Finn and I were just looking at the board state and saying what makes the absolute most sense for me to do in this board state, and the answer is very little.
Yeah.
Most
Interesting.
restrained game of 40k I've ever played.
What about you, Charlie? You went in the mirror match, bridge hit against Hammer.
Yeah, it was very interesting. I think I had this as a 3.5 just because I have a lot of units and he doesn't have as many units. The tanks, cool, they'll pick up a unit of something every turn, maybe not even that if I make the saves. Um, and on Purge, he had enough stuff that I could reliably score kill more for the first 3 turns. And the entire game plan was, look, I'll kill everything except for your tanks. So drops your secondary scoring, and then I'm just going to charge my entire army to your tanks so they don't go anywhere, and I score hold more for the last 2 turns, and that more or less played out. Now Ben, to his credit, wasn't feeling very well on Sunday morning, um, but he still showed up and played because he was like, don't want to let the team down, which is awesome. And he made a couple of small mistakes, one of which was leaving a perfectly 15-man Scion size gap in his deployment zone where I
Oh.
could drop in and pick up, I think it was Solar, all his mortars, the Cadian squad, a couple of cheeky shots into the Vanquisher rush as well at the bottom. So I picked up quite a bit that turn, throwing away a unit of Scions, of course. But it stopped his CP generation. I took him off his home objective, which was key because then I just started deep striking 5-man Scions onto it to deny him primary, which was very cute. Um, yeah, but by bottom of 3, he had 5 tanks left, and yeah, he had to play the game with that. The Dawns were killing things left, right, and center, overwatching all of the good stuff, and I just started. sending wave after wave after wave of my men into him, holding them up, so he
You're
couldn't go
making the
anywhere.
guard proud, Charlie.
Yeah. And I don't think I killed the Dawn in the end, but I picked up a few of the Russes, so I was still scoring kills. He was getting killed more, turn 4 and 5. Um, I was worried I wasn't gonna get a kill point for round turn 5, but he charged a 1 wound Tech Marine into the unit of Krieg that was wrapping one of his tanks, and killed I think 2 Krieg, and the Krieg sergeant with a power sword just went, "You're dead." Cut through that Tech Marine. So that was pretty funny. That
Nice.
was just a cheeky little 4 points that I got there. But yeah, I think talking to Ben afterwards, he said, look, he probably went a bit too hard on the tanks. That he wasn't looking for a horde type army to go up against.
Mm.
If he had just dropped a couple of the Russes, 2 to 3 Russes, and just had more Catachans, more Cassicans, more things, then that would have been a much closer game.
Interesting. Yeah. Um, and then, well, that was the end of the round. You up to this point undefeated. Going for the lock in first or second, regardless of the results
Yep.
of the. And I'm going to mention that up to this point, um, we with the Calf team, we had only um, one defeat. We got a draw here with Palmy, but we only had one defeat that was against the seed one, that was Northern Leftovers. So we went to the round 5 going against dash dash dash, that they got the third spot, um, which I think was for the lads for what the preparation and how I guess the little rapes some of the team had was a really good thing to see. Um, but yes, round 5, you got the northern leftovers. Let me see if it's bringing back. This taking a little bit. Um, there is perfect score, by the way, 69.
Best you
Beautiful.
can get.
Yep. That is out to win.
Yeah.
So, but
I
yeah,
mean, it
well,
is
here
literally a win. Like,
it's
he's
You
not
win in so
wrong.
many ways.
100%, bro. That is the win. A win is a win. Um, here, I guess the time also for doing the matrix for this matchup is not big. You have the lunch.
Mhm.
Um, I'm guessing, guys, you be prepared. Not Charlie. You had your data for the seed one teams already there, so you were kind of prepared for this situation. Is that right?
For the most part, yeah, we kind of had like obviously had to be like a mission agnostic kind of style matrix into them. So it was a bit more like not necessarily as accurate, but then we kind of tweaked it as we did right before we did pairings, made sure everything was right. Jonty ran up to a couple of people, made sure things were accurate. Like, do you think this is this? Do you think this is that? And then, yeah, we were feeling kind of like a little confident, I think, in pairings. Like, it looked promising for us. Hey, Jonty.
Fuck no.
I
We
thought,
came
I
out of
thought like,
pairings, and I was like, man, I just had this horrible feeling that we were
oh,
going down, and that
Oh,
really came into my match with Hayden. But
interesting.
we'll come back to that. But
Yeah.
yeah,
But, like,
I was pessimistic as coming out of this.
interesting. Yeah, because I thought like we paired like pretty much as well as we could have for the round. Like we got like good matchups, kind of all around. Like the guard off, we thought would be like maybe a draw. But I think Charlie thought maybe a slight win.
It was
But yeah,
Yeah, it was very drawish. It's just
yeah, very
and
drawish there.
yeah, me and Chris talked about it. Every
Yeah.
single turn we were like, why are we just spending all this effort and brain power, trying, and we're just going to draws because we both had to play Super Cage. I couldn't break into him because he had a lot more stuff than Ben. Of course, Ben
Mm.
combined arms. He had triple dawns and just stuff. So it was very hard to dig in and really to score big. At the same time, we're just denying each other secondaries. So
Yeah,
Interesting.
yeah.
So,
yeah,
you Chris went against CSM, another Cov again.
Yep, the third cob for the weekend. So like I was
Oh, the
definitely
weakest.
practiced into it this time. This was
Oh, that.
probably the list that um I'm the best into on paper because it has the two huntsmen as well, the two armigers,
mm,
the two war
Oh,
dogs. So
yeah.
and I pick them up very consistently. So if I can get rid of them, I think I got rid of both of them without losing a model. So like I was up 300 points in the like the attrition war, which was a really nice place to be, obviously. And then I went for a little bit of a gambit because he was just being super cagey. And I heard, well, Doug Waters kind of come over and was like, "You're going for a draw, right?" And I was like, okay, so like if he's going for a draw, like I need to make sure I start doing stuff to force him to come out. So I gave him the juiciest bait, which was my flash gets inside a truck on the center objective. I just towed on just a little bit the truck on.
oh,
So it wasn't the easiest charge. So he had to like advance and charge with his army to get like everything out there. But he charged it with a possessed unit and a chosen unit. But his possessed charge, he got like a 9. So he had to wrap a lot of the truck with that one, but he still needed to get the chosen charge in to be able to obviously once they kill the truck to get out and then pile into the flash kits. But
Has
because of how he had to end the charge, he didn't have space. I didn't have space to drop the guys out within 3, and because he had killed and piled in with the well, yeah, hadn't consolidated yet with the possessed, but I could move the flash gets out 6 inches. Yes, I'm taking more mortals, but I was outside of 4 inches of all of his models. So then my flash gets just chilled there and then was able to activate on my turn without taking any more damage. So it was chosen basically charged for no reason, which was huge. Not that we actually talked about it after the match. I think the flash gets for the rest of the game killed 2 models. Like they're shooting the next turn did 0 damage. Like he just made every single threat and cover with their guns. It was absolutely. I think he lost one, yeah, one chosen to them, and then one chosen in their melee, and then that was it. So it didn't actually change a whole lot. Ironically, it was all the 3 damage like tank buster rockets and breaker boys and stuff that actually did a lot of the damage in that matchup. But it was just crazy. He was like rolling 3 ups. He was like rolling 2 dice at a time, and like it just he just never rolled under a 3. I was like, this is crazy. But yeah, no, really cool game. I definitely needed at that time as well. We were saying that the game was the whole round was looking quite drawish. So I was like, okay, so I definitely need to try and like push something here to make sure we're into a winning position. So I did have to take a little bit of a risk. I think either way, even if I lost the flash kits, I was still probably getting like a 13 that game. They didn't actually change the score a whole lot. But I think, yeah, I generally think if Matt had just stayed still and just stayed behind the wall, it would have been a 10-10 and there wouldn't have been a whole much how much I could have done about it, which is, yeah, kind of crazy. But no, really fun game.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And we can see Josh did Josh things again.
Yep.
What was the matrix here for this? I can tell you was not a 5.
No, it was. I think it was positive. It was like a 3.5. I think he put it down as a
no,
3, and then
he was
yeah,
on threes for everything except for CSM.
yeah. But I think John T and I both said that it was like probably slightly positive. Like I don't see there wasn't a lot in that list. Like the Vindicators are the scariest thing for him, and like they're not that scary to be fair.
Yeah, this army had Desos, and it has the problem when you have Manius, Kalgar, Gilliman, and Desolators. Is what else are you running in your army?
Yeah,
Like
and
that's
two
three.
Vindicators. Yeah, like
Yeah, those three core units don't like to just get out and play 40k.
mm,
So that's you know what nearly 800 points of your army that doesn't want to play the game
mm,
until maybe the later turns. So you're having to play the game with like very little. You can't trade. It's tough. And Josh took real big advantage of that. I remember he was saying at one point that he came out, charged something, and was sitting outside the wall, and he's like, if you come in within 9 inches of me, I'm going to reactive behind this wall. And so
yeah,
Gilliman walked over, and he moved behind the wall, didn't get shot, Gilliman failed to charge, I think, and then he came out and he warned the guy this would happen. He did it anyway. But then he was saying the Blade Champ just came out, cut off Gilliman's head, and Gilliman did not get back up.
Yeah,
Oh,
I rolled a 1.
brutal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Harsh. Yeah,
And as a
that's
fellow
harsh.
Space Marines player, I feel that pain. But if you're at the point where you're just like throwing Gilliman into people, things have gone badly wrong already.
Yeah, you
And
if you're
that's
yelling at G man, like
yeah, that's the issue with that kind of style army is you kind of are forced to at some point because what else you got?
You don't
Fuck
have enough
all.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
don't have enough stuff.
makes
Can I just
sense.
quickly say I just remembered something awesome in my game.
Yeah.
I tried to mortar because Chris had Creed with the command squad and the TM Acadian at the back doing 24-inch orders. I killed the command squad down, well, the unit down to basically one more model. I would have picked up the Acadian unit and he would lose the 24-inch orders. And I was like, oh man. And it just started growing stuff back. But then turn 2, somehow my Ratlings got line of sight on the unit and I one shot Ursula Creed with Ratlings.
beautiful.
which
Beautiful.
which
Yeah,
which was
that's
just poetic. That was hilarious, and it just changed the way and restricted Chris in terms of how he used his ghosts because he couldn't bounce the ghosts back up anymore. He had to use them in the back to give orders to things. So yeah, that was just a very fun little
Hobbits for the win, mate.
interaction.
Hobbits for the
Yeah,
win.
Hobbits. Fucking hobbits.
yeah.
Um, yeah, but then Jonty, you went again, Hayden, and this was Inari?
yeah. So Hayden and I agreed. Much how I had with every one of my opponents this entire tournament was I was not going to overwatch you or heroically intervene or reactive move. I wasn't going to basically surprise them with anything. I wanted it to be just full open information, and I expected my opponents to play the same way, and every single one of them did. It was a great time. Hate an absolute champ though, because I was very focused on not killing units. That at one point I was setting up to charge the incubi, and I dropped in some inceptors to shoot them as well. Then I forgot. Oh, actually, shit, that's right. He can just move after I shoot him. So he let me actually take the inceptors back up because I didn't want to use them to do anything else. Um, but I got into a position. I was going second, so I was like, cool, I can play a KG tradey game and I'll get a small win. But on my second turn, I had an opportunity to just full send and get a lot of his stuff. And I turned to each of my teammates and I'm like, how's your match going? How's it looking? How are we doing? And each one of them just gave me this look like, oh, I'm not sure. It's too early, and so this feeling that I had from pairings, not because we did pairings bad, like just to clarify, we had on paper like a small win, but it was contingent on a couple of games getting a small win and none of our games having any decent losses.
Mm.
And I just had this feeling like things were going to go badly wrong, and
No faith.
they
No
did.
Hey,
faith.
I told you
They
I was getting a draw.
absolutely did. For the other guys.
Trust in the
um,
process.
but at this point, turn 2, and I'm turning to it, and I'm like, man, like, what are we looking at here? And I'm like, and I hummed and hard, and I was like, you know what? Screw it. We call the Salt Doctrine, we advanced Manius Kelgar and Gilliman out, and we just, like, and the very first dice roll I did was like, Gilliman's advance roll. Haha. Roll a 1. Sad. Um, because I was going to charge into a Warlock Skyrunner that Hayden had put on the center objective and use it to kind of get myself into the incubi without them fighting first. And if they intervened, then it would actually make my charge easier into some other stuff. And so I was like, I had this plan, and it all kind of hinged on Gilliman going fast, and he didn't. But that point, I was like, I've called a Solid Doctor now. If I don't send now, I'm like sending one unit a turn for the rest of the game. So we just sent, and we charged a bunch of stuff. We didn't shoot anything because we know how it works. We grenaded some banshees and then killed them with impact models in the charge phase. So there was no Yanari move bullshit. And we ended up fighting into the Incubi Yvrain Vizark unit with Manius Kalgar and his aggressors, and he fought first, and I used Fight on Death, and he killed me down to a single um, Victory Guard, and I killed his unit down to Yvrain on 1 wound.
Mm.
And then I piled in with my unit of JPIs who were there, and I'm like, cool, here's like 8 chainsword attacks into the Yvrain, hitting, like, re-rolling hits, winning on 2s. Oh, she's dead. And it kind of just from there, I tagged a bunch of stuff. You don't have fallback and do anything. So that was basically kind of from there. He was trying to punch me back with not as much gas. Killed Gilliman with some fire dragons and some banshees charging him. He got back up and slapped him down, and then died to a second unit of fire dragons. Then on the very last turn, I was charging my blade guard Judicia unit into the center to charge this wave serpent. But on the other side of the board, I needed to shoot him off. I needed to shoot 4 out of 5 fire dragons dead on an objective so that he wouldn't score it on his last turn. And I used Oath, and I kind of did a 1 dice at a time, just trying to make sure I didn't kill them. And I gave him 6 saves into 5 fire dragons, and he made 2 of the saves, so the fire dragons lived. And then he re-rolled one of the failed saves from a 5-up invul into another 5. And it was just like the best moment in the game, because it meant the wave serpent in the center didn't move, and then I got the exact charge roll I needed on a 7, the exact charge roll I needed to hit this wave serpent with this charge. So there were a bunch of stars aligning, but in the middle of all of that, Josh comes over and he's just like, "Oh yeah, got a 20."
Classic Josh.
And I'm just like, what the fuck? And all this like pressure that I was like, if I have like sent and I didn't need to, and I lose and I cost us the round, like all of that kind of went out the window, and I was like, I think we'll be alright now.
Yeah.
And then when we had Dylan keeping Alex Dugmore to an 11, the guy who had been getting 20, 20, 18, 20, like so far this tournament.
Dude, I
He's
took
just
2
like
points.
the
I
speed
took two
bump that
points
is
from
Dylan.
Alex, and I was so happy. And Dylan got 9. I was like, he's a champion, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You cracked the armor, and Dylan went in.
he was saying like he had a unit of Skitari come out of the Dune Rider, so they get their full rolls to wound, and it also has a marshal, so it's full rolls to hit, and he just shot a keeper, and it died. Full
With
rolls to hit, full
Skitari.
rolls to wound, just killed a
Wow.
keeper with Skitari. I'm not sure whether it was wound transfer from fiends, and he was
Oh,
actually
okay.
shooting the fiend.
Yeah.
I think it might have been that.
That makes more
Yeah.
sense.
But he still one shot a keeper.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was just a couple of things like that. Like, I think Dylan's opponents, as he was saying when he was here before he left us, R.I.P. Dylan, was, how people would underestimate how durable just like 10 do to the 5-up invul and -1 to hit is.
Yeah.
And yeah,
And the amount
because
of output they can do as well is very surprising.
like you stack up enough buffs, right? And it's like, oh, this galvanic rifle, oh, it kills God. It's like 4-1-1, yeah, God dies. But like I remember when we were originally talking about our team lineup, and the first lineup that I suggested was what we ended up with, but with Biosanctic instead of Custodes. And I was like, I really want to see Admech, and I want to see Admech with a few transports, a lot of infantry, and enough gun that your opponent can't just play whatever game they want. And then Dylan's like, "How does this list look?" And it was a list he ended up running, and I was just like, "Oh, chef's kiss. This is perfect.
It's a
Run
very
this. Make
Dylan list
everyone
as well.
miserable."
Yeah.
Because I have played Dylan a couple of times, including with my hypercrypt list. And so I had seen, what he could do and how good he was at moving all those little pieces. So I was keen to see other people suffer in the way that I had, and not to lose the game, but to win so poorly that it's functionally a loss. And
Yeah.
yeah, and that was this round, right? Like I know in pairings at one point, they put down um, demons as their second defender, and we had myself and Dylan, and that I mean I remember you and I talking about it, Chris. It's like, I reckon they're going to put demons down as second defender,
Yeah.
so hold
Yeah.
me and um uh me and Dylan.
Yeah.
Which is why we didn't want to send Dylan, because we wanted to get that speed bump into demons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and when they put down demons as second defender, I'm like, put me and Dylan. They won't pick me because I think that list blunts me, but I also blunt that list. And
Yeah. Neither of us want that, so it's like,
like I'm here to score a lot of points. Alex is here to score a lot of points. They won't risk that neutralizing because they'll
yeah,
want him to win big.
yeah,
So they'll pick
and
Dylan.
to blunt you, like
And
that's
it's
that would
like,
be their goal. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. And if they had picked me in that matchup, I was very confident they wouldn't.
Yeah.
I don't know what would have happened if they had. It's kind of up to the dice gods at that point.
Mm.
But um, it's kind of like they triggered our trap card because we did know that Dylan was there to go into
Yeah.
those Slaanesh girls and just like, well, like a keeper has 10 attacks, right? It doesn't kill 10 bloody
Yeah. Like kill 10 dudes.
Vanguard. It doesn't kill them.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then they hold the objective because the keeper goes down to OC4, and it's like, cool, there's like, what, 3 dudes left? Yeah, it's my objective.
Nah, I don't think the Vanguard thing works on vehicles and monsters.
Oh, doesn't it? Oh, I mean, it doesn't actually change the math in either way, right? Because it's
Yeah.
3 dudes is 6 OC to his
There's
5.
6 OC,
But
yeah.
yeah. But I mean, it was just the math just isn't there.
Interesting.
And
Yeah.
I
that's
think
really good.
alternatively, if we did have you going into Dugmore, Dylan into Eldari wouldn't be the worst as well.
No, that's
That's
fine
fair.
for us as well. Like,
Yeah.
Well, the issue that it's Yannari though,
Yeah.
and Dylan's army is not highly mobile, so I think there would be an issue with, like, he has to combine arms to really deal a lot of damage, right? You want to shoot something with a Dune Rider to get 4 rolls to wounds, you kind of have to just give that up. And you probably don't need it as much given that all their bodies are toughness 3. But, a lot of it is damaged by coordination.
Yeah.
And Eldar throw a big wrench into that.
Mhm.
True.
And it'd be really easy into the shooting phase. Now there's a big threat in your face. And Hayden would have been able to just coordinate a lot of different pieces, I think.
Yeah, that's a fair
I
assessment.
think
it would have been interesting.
like Hayden would win that match, but I think it'd be, what, 13, 14, depending on how the mission went. Whereas, my match into Dugmore could really go either way. But I think it goes either direction of reasonably hard. Like, I think it's a 15 to one of us.
Right. Yeah.
It's a question of who.
Yeah.
Makes
So,
sense.
final placings. Chili Cartel coming first place. Woohoo.
Lord and
Stuff number 10.
Leftovers was second
Yes,
because
because
of
of the
lock.
top 2 lock.
Yep.
Yep.
And then
Undefeated.
dash
Yep.
coming third.
Correct. Very, very good close for the team. Lot of hard work there, guys. And yeah, good win at the end of the day. All went the way that you wanted to go. Um, Yeah, good team effort there. Lot of work. We put work. We did internal screams. We work around the factions that we could play, and the players could, what most of the, oh, this list is good, and is the, this army is the best one. It's like more about what the player can play and what he feels comfortable playing, and put that into, I guess, work. That was very good from you guys that managed to work that around. Charlie, the god of the dice, love you. I don't know why, but
To be fair, when the team were kind of designing with me in mind, they picked probably the army that was the closest to Index GSE, which I put a lot of time into practicing.
yes,
So even though it was minimal reps, I kind of knew how to play the, lots of deep strike, lots of infantry units, just things that come down and delete stuff but die in return. Like an army designed to die, but an army designed to stop your opponent scoring as well. So that's kind
cool.
of, talking to Jonty and Chris, that's what they wanted me to. And Bridgehead was busted. Let's be honest. Bridgehead was pretty busted.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Bridget was
Yeah.
was
When I rolled 10 melter attacks and get like 16 hits, it's busted.
That's what I'm saying. The god of the
Yeah.
dice love
Yeah.
Charlie. Um, but yes, well, we still playing. Well, the team is still working around. We have now the 8 man that is cracking doing the ANC NCTC as
New
the
Zealand
one.
Team Championships, yep, coming up
Yep,
21st, 22nd of June.
yep.
That's going to be
Um,
a
we
really
we are
fun event.
running. We are also running a 5 man teams event in May, which we are going to do the same as before. Um, it is, yeah. There is a lot of events coming, but also we are. I guess as a team, we still working around with all our members, which is very very nice. Um, very happy with the result. Really, really proud of you guys. And the calf got the best board, which we are very proud of that.
It's very cool. The two best
Yeah,
prizes at any event is first place and best sport. So like the fact that both of our teams got one each is just excellent.
I'm very surprised. I'm pretty sure I was carry on that one because I give so much shit to my opponent that. Um, but yeah, nah, I was very surprised about that. But yeah, I guess the lads they play, they represent the team very well. They were very the sportsmanship of the calf. What they show was very good. Um, big thumbs up to them. Kieran, I think this was his first big event. Was the most green of our players. We throw him under the bus, and he played like a champ. Um, and he was always very, a very good sportsmanship player. David G was trying to get the best custodes from the team, trying to take it from Josh, but Josh did Josh things and escape escape the points. But yeah, David did an
Let's
amazing
not
job.
minimize. Like Josh did fantastically. Josh was the highest scoring player on our team.
Yeah.
He
Yeah,
was,
no,
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Josh did
I
more
know.
than Josh things, or maybe he
Yeah.
did Josh
No,
things, but
this
Josh
is
things
Josh
ran
It's
things.
black.
just Josh
Yeah.
things,
This is
yeah.
just Josh
Those
things. Yeah.
things.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying. I'm not minimizing what Josh did. Josh did an amazing job, same as Dylan. What
yeah.
I'm just saying that they have this little kind of like thing going on, like because I think that the beginning, um, David was getting more points than Josh, and they were talking, well, I'm the best custodians player, and Charlie was like, no, it's me. It's like, Charlie, you're not even playing this.
Shield host is still
But
better.
Yeah, now was great, great time. Very good. The event, as always, very good organization. We really enjoy playing there, and we will be working for going back to more team events. That's our, I guess, our goal for this year. Um, Chris, you as a captain, enjoy your overall time leading these animals.
Oh yeah, no, it was an absolute like pleasure. Like everyone, like you guys are all my friends, so it was just fun. Like there was never any like captain issues. There was no arguments whatsoever. There was a couple of times that like you just got to make a decision, Chris. It's like fine, sweet, let's just do this. Like and like, but no one ever like was annoyed at it or anything like that. It was like it was a bunch of friends playing together. I just happened to be the one that had a hat on, right? Like it's
Yeah.
just
And
it was very
Jonty was
fun.
I don't
the
remember any hat.
pairing princess. Jonty was the pairing princess.
Yes, we got to get
So,
him a tiara for the next event.
are we going to give him a tiara for the next event?
Good, good.
Excellent. I will buy the most shiny one with diamonds and all these things. Yeah, don't worry.
Genuine diamonds that I can sell it
Ooh.
afterwards.
Yeah, yeah. Nah, that's the team's tiara in that case.
Oh yeah, whoever's the princess has to wear the tiara. That's good.
Pretty much. But yeah, no, that was really good. Well, we guys, I guess, what are your like? We want this event. Um, Looking forward, the 8 months I think is the big next
Yeah,
event, and I think we all agree that we are trying to get a similar result and work for that. John T, I guess one of the for me one of the things that I see is John T loving TTS the way that he loves TTS, trying to get everybody to do the use it play in TTS. He takes the time to jump with players, with the new lads or with everybody into the game, and he try to help you to improve your game, and that is very very amazing. And I think all the team appreciate that thing from you, John T. It's really cool. And pretty much you always ask who wants a game, and you have John T, Dylan, and David. The three of them jumps straight away. Yep, TTS. You also, Chris, also one of those that jumps in TTS very often. But I guess John T and Dylan are the
they're
ones that.
they're addicts.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I hate TTS dice. Hate them with all my heart. Fuck TTS dice.
John T
You just
offered
have
me
to, you just have to
TTS.
roll
Yeah,
nuts in real life too.
yeah.
Mm.
I
I
rolled
Oh,
told.
quite spicy in real life, man.
yeah. Well, it's better to be lucky than good, right, Peter?
Yeah, true. That's true. That's true.
This is why you play
Um,
armies with a 4-up invuln, bro.
Mm.
that's why.
Everything has
That's
a 4-up invul if you put Illumina. No, was it Auric and the Diviner in it? It's a 4-up.
That's only one unit.
Yeah,
yeah.
but it's like 20 models, right?
Yeah, that was good.
Um,
That was good.
Another
I missed.
thing that I would like to mention, John T drag us all to play. Well, not all of us, but a couple of us to play the a TTS Teams League. That is the Australia TTS League that's run by Sam, and it's been very interesting. That league because allows you to change your list and even your army through rounds, which allows you to, if you are playing the same faction, do small tweaks and get that. Okay, cool. This is not working, and you don't need to sit with that list the whole event. You can go and rethink what you want to do with the army, and very,
So,
very. I find this very helpful.
so actually, it's just that it so happens to be between each round we've had the Eldar Codex come out, and then we had the Guard Codex come out, and then we had the Balanced Data Slate come out. So So it's actually, I don't think the intention was that you change your lists every round, but they
Okay.
always wanted just to have updated lists. So we just have changed our lists every round.
It's quite a good, like, it's a nice feature, to be fair. Like, I agree with Pato. Like, I think it's nice just being able to, like, it doesn't affect anything, right? Because no one's
Yeah,
making matrices for every round for it. Like, it's quite a cool way of doing it.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think running a teams event with that intentional would actually be really interesting.
Yeah, cool.
And since it's TTS and you're playing what 2 weeks and then 2 weeks and we know that the meta changed, then you
Yeah.
have balance and codex and stuff, makes it very interesting that you can actually have the possibility of change and reiterate your list, maybe your faction, maybe your even okay, cool. I'm still playing Necrons, but I'm playing a different detachment. All of that allows you to prepare and in a competitive also setup, because yeah, you're there for playing and having a good time, but it is also competitive. You're trying to win regardless because it's a teams event. So I found that there is very very interesting. uh, oh, Sam is listening to us say
Some
playing with
interesting
Australians
comments in the chat. Yeah, from Sam.
thought fucking horrible. Allow the possibility to change, however, it doesn't help when people fail to update and have people fucked up. Yeah,
It's very true.
Was that
that's
you,
very
Pato?
true.
That sounds like a
Uh,
Pato.
I failed to update my list in the last round. I played with the same as round two, and I knew that I needed to change it, but I was painting and preparing stuff for the World Wars, so it was like was not in my head to do it. Um,
And you got point nerfs, so I just didn't
also,
change my list. Oops.
also,
Guess I'll just keep it. I'll just play it like 2100 points now. I guess.
yes, yes, but it is what it is, bro. I don't know, guys. Has been a long long night. I really appreciate the time that you gave us today, guys. I know that we tried to record on Friday. Charlie apparently forgot a birthday or something like that, and we couldn't record.
Hey, you still owe
Sorry
me the
about that.
present that you had to come and grab from me to give to your friend's kid. Okay, so let's not go there.
Charlie's an absolute saint. Thank you very much
This guy calls
for
me out
that.
Friday afternoon going, Charlie, I forgot to buy a birthday present. I'm going to a party. Do you have any spare orcs?
And Charlie said, "Of course I do."
Of course I do.
Of course, I have. Look, let me check
Sealed
my
in
balance.
box. Yeah.
Yeah. So we gave him beautiful orc buggy. No, what's the name of that vehicle, Charlie?
Shit.
Daka Boom.
Boom Snacker Snazwagon? Boom
Snazzwagon?
Dacker Snazwagon?
Yeah, that's one. That's the one. That's the one. Joaquin was so happy with it. He loves orcs, and he's trying to start an army. And I thought that was going to be really cool for him to have something like that.
Didn't I give him? Didn't want to give him any units that are meta or anything like that. You saving those for
No,
yourself.
30
Charlie
Flash
was
Gets,
already,
30 Tank Busters.
Charlie was
Yeah.
painting the
Yeah, those are
Those
Lucas.
are on
great
my
ones.
table. Yeah, those are on
Yeah,
my table.
Charlie was not. No, no, I have to paint those Lutas, those flash gates, those everything. So it's not going to happen. I have over there. Sorry, that way, that there is my World Wars baseball trophy beside my
Mine's
second.
behind my head. Yeah, like
Yeah,
that.
we all know that you guys won that despite you, Pato, not because of.
Oh, fuck. I don't.
That was to get them at that that level of difficulty. If you
Fuck.
can get baseball with me in the team,
Do you have the 2023 War Pause first place?
Ooh.
Oh,
that one.
vintage.
That's pretty.
Yeah, bring it on, Chris. Bring it on. See, Jonty, you don't have a
I've
camera.
got Charlie. I got what was 2023 as well.
Nice.
Nice.
Well, if I had a camera, I'd go get my Warp Wars rings, my
So
Warp
that's
Master rings and
the
stuff.
Chris, yes.
a nice
Yeah.
reflection from the actual TV.
No, we can see it. We can see it, man.
Yeah, it's very cool though.
Awesome.
Cool award to get.
Yeah.
I
I
actually
am
quite like
good.
the frames with the certificate in them. It's quite nice. Like it's quite a cool trophy.
Yep. Not cool as ours, but it's all good.
Nah, nah,
I think I gotta head off. I got an early start in the morning.
Yep.
But
Finish
it's
it
been
up.
a
yeah.
pleasure,
Yes,
Thanks for
and I'll
Jonty is
see
coming.
you guys around.
leaving for the Where are you going, Charlie? Jonty?
Thailand. Gonna Thailand.
Thailand. Muay
Ooh,
Thais.
awesome.
Muay Thais. Excellent. Go
Come back a
enjoy.
real
Careful.
princess.
Careful,
Yeah,
dude.
yeah, yeah. I'm gonna come back with tits, Charlie. I'll see you
Yes.
guys later.
See you, John D.
God, we are going to get so bloody cancel things to Jonty now. That's fine. Chris, a lot of your videos lately, you are very, very active with your Odyssey
Doing my best.
40K.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah, we have seen. Donated. Apparently, you don't have nothing to do over there.
It's true. So all I do is play 40k and make videos now and work. It's kind of like all I do. Yeah.
That's yeah. That is what I thought. A part of fighting sea lions. I
Yes.
think yeah, there's nothing else to do there. Um, yeah, you're all good with that. But yeah, guys, if you have not seen the videos or go to Chris YouTube channel Odyssey 40K. He always have videos there. What was the last one? The tier list,
I did a tier
uh,
list
Demon
yesterday.
review.
I've got one coming out about like making like team comps. That should I think is coming out tomorrow. I just need to
Nice,
finish editing it, but it's like about building like team comps for teams. So like how you can do different SKUs, what's the pros and cons to all those kind of things. So since we're doing teams, you guys are doing teams ones. It's kind of similar to that kind of stuff. So if you wanted to do a bit more masterclass on how to build your team comps for fives and eights, kind of a video on that stuff.
nice. Always very helpful. And that's for the community. I guess the support giving to you as on your videos has been very good. I know that there is a bunch of lads in Hamilton that always looking there. Dan Fox is one of your
Yeah, he's one of my supporters. He's a good dude. Yeah, he's very cool.
he always is there. Yeah, but yeah, nah. I think Charlie. Do I miss? I'm missing anything?
Nope. I think that's it. I
Um,
mean, really great to have the boys on for our first episode for 2025, and what a great way to kick off
yes.
the podcast again. Yeah, let's see how we go in the
We
upcoming
are going
weeks. Yeah.
to bring trying to go back to a weekly episode.
Ooh.
Oh God.
Yes, we talk about this, Charlie. But there is some exciting news, Charlie. The confirmation that we received today, ANZTC.
Yes. So I will be traveling with the North team over to ANZTC in the end of April, and we are trying to set up a stream table for New Zealand teams. So we should be able to
Awesome.
stream both North and South team games, and I will be a dedicated commentator.
Awesome.
Most
That's
of
gonna
it
be
will
That
so
be
is
cool.
making fun of most of it will be making fun of Ryan, but we'll see how it
Yeah,
goes.
yeah. I'll
very
be in the
much.
comments and I'll just be just talking shit the entire weekend. It'll be great.
Yep. Yep.
We can
Hopefully the venue
put
has a bar. Yep.
yeah,
Oh,
So
beautiful.
yep.
that will be well. It's a hotel, so should be a bar there.
Yep. So that
But yes,
should be
that
a
is
good time.
happening. We are going into well, I will be traveling to Austria with Team New Zealand to
Bloody
comment.
Sam.
What is it?
I don't think anybody could pay me enough to suck a toe. Like, just no.
Oh,
I might do a
yeah.
shilly, but you know.
So I will be traveling with the Team New Zealand to Austria to do some part of the coach team, but with the dedicated mission of doing comms, so bringing the result live and trying to. We are not going to stream because apparently the venue this year is smaller than that was Belgium. So apparently there is not enough space. We're still trying to ask if we can do that, but I think that will not be possible. So we most likely will have a camera over there to have all our tables. So it's a camera that will be moving all the time. Hopefully, is running with, and then we will be commenting live. Um, yeah, so trying to do some stuff there.
Awesome.
What else, Charlie? Events. There is a calendar. Follow the tree link that is in the website.
Link tree.
There is still some tickets for our Teams event in May. So if you have not bought yet, go and do it before it is too late.
There is
And
OTT happening this weekend in Hamilton, which
OTT
is
happening
going to be
this
fun.
weekend. Yes,
Yep.
we are going there. Full WTC tables over there, and then it's Hobby Master the next week, the Sunday. Prometheus, I think, is just a 3 day RTT. We are going to be there too, supporting Hobby Master as always. Yeah, so a lot of things happening. Chris, you are missing all of this over there in the south.
Yeah, I got my TTS fix. It's all right, and it just gives me more time to do videos, right? So I can just keep spamming videos out.
That is amazing. Cool, guys. I think that's it for today. We are going to try to do all the other episodes the same way live because there is no point. We don't do editing with Charlie. Let's be honest, Charlie. We don't edit nothing. So we go raw. So what's the point? Let's do it live and have some comments from the community. Try to engage with them more. This one, I guess, was a little bit. We was not prepared, so not a lot of the people was there, but all the people that is watching us now, we really appreciate that you stay with us during this 2 hours talking shit. It's pretty much what we do every time. Don't you agree, Charlie?
No, it's all insightful information.
With shit in the middle. So it's kind of a sandwich.
But
That's
anyway,
it.
thank you, everyone. Thank you for your support. Lovely to kick off 2025 finally.
Yes.
And I guess if we have time, we might even do another one to talk about the OTT lists.
Yes. Yeah, well, that will be, but let's see how that goes.
Yeah. How much
But
do
if
you
you
have to
have,
paint, Pato? I only have about 50 models to go.
oh, I have to base 6 more models and I already airbrush everything. Um, so yeah, I think they are battle ready. I can put it on the table with the way
All
that
right.
they are. So I'm fine. Should be good. My own Necrons will be interesting. Cool, guys.
Sounds
Well,
good.
thank you, everybody. We, if you have not subscribed to the channel, please do that. Go visit Chris at Odyssey 40K. Give it a like. Subscribe to his channel. There is Odyssey. Yes.
Use his
Um,
pairings template. It's amazing. It's got a tactical
yes.
chili link on it.
Yeah. Because I erased his.
Yeah.
No, that's comment for another session. The word.
Yep.
So yeah. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, guys. And good night.
See ya.
Stay spicy, Charlie.
Ciao.
2025.
No.